In this video we're going to look at the Hand of the Seven. The Hand are the most elite of the enforcers. They are the personal fixers, to want of a better term, of the Council of Seven, which effectively runs pretty much everything from the GCPS. They give their orders to the mega corporation leaders and owners and such like, and you know, it goes from there. They've got enforcers, normal ones, but when things really need precision work and things have really gone bad, you send in the Hand. They've got a lot of stuff. There's not that many models. Well, saying that, there's 8 of them. And they are fairly decent. I've used them 3 times now. I've not won many games, but I will say, when you'll hear what they've got, I will say a really good Deadzone player will just do mincemeat with their opponent. And I think, and I still think, they are some of the most overpowered faction in the game, if not the. But let's get on with it. Their faction special rule, they've only got their special operations, and you have a choice of 4. First one is Enforcer Special Operation Command. Each ESOC marker, which is basically a model that's lying on the floor with rifle out, it's just a marker. I will say though, do the markers count for blocking line of sight to bases and whatnot? Would they count for blocking clear shots and the like? Something that needs to be cleared up, I think. Each ESOC marker on the board raises Monarch's tactician value by 1 with a maximum combined total of tactician 4. Additionally, when placing items, place an ESOC marker randomly on the board following item placement rule. So that would mean Monarch's already being tactician 2, so you get 5 dice. And being tactician 4, if you do manage that, will go up to 7 command dice. I've used that before, and personally I think you get too many options, but that's just how I roll the dice. If you get the right roll off, that can be really good, really good. Next one is Close Quarters Operation. Each named mercenary, what that should say is all models other than the ESOC drone, because everyone else is named, so it should say every model in the strike team other than the ESOC drone swaps their survive. Oh, it's survive. I thought it was shoot stat. Okay, survive and fight stat for the rest of the game. One model receives the thermal mines equipment when deployed. Thermal mines, doesn't a model already have thermal mines? No, but that's a pretty decent close combat weapon from memory. It's got AP to it. It's not bad. Swap their fight and survive stat. Okay. What does this mean? Okay, so it means Howlet, which is a good close combat model, fights on 3s and survives on 4s. I see what this is. I see what this is for now. I understand. There are a fair few in this faction that has survive of 3. And they fight on 4s. Yeah, fight on 4s. So swapping it around means you fight on 4, survive on 4s, which is still pretty good, but you fight on 3s, meaning you are really deadly in close combat. I see this now. I thought it swapped your fight and shoot stat around, which I couldn't understand the point of that. But now I understand it. Now I understand it. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Next one is Long Range Assassination. Friendly prey markers on enemy models. Yes, you heard this right, because this faction, being enforcers, gives out prey markers. Friendly prey markers on enemy models give +1 die modifier to friendly models making a ranged test against them and had no effect on fight tests. So basically, enemies having prey markers are not the prey markers on enemies are not affected for fight actions when you're in close combat, but when you're shooting at enemies with prey markers, you then get the +1 dice. And that's for all shooting. I used this yesterday. I didn't win the game, but I used it to pretty decent effect, considering I was up against Night Stalkers with a lot of cloaking and all that sort of stuff. I think I did pretty well considering, but it's a really good ability. If you're on a very packed board with a lot of high-rise stuff, you can really make this one work well. Finally, and I think one that is absolutely busted, is Will of the Seven. Keep your ears open and make sure you sit down. Models in this strike team are not immediately removed from the game when damage received equals their HP stat. So, yeah, you could argue this makes it horrendously powerful rather than overpowered, but it goes on. Instead, those damaged enough to kill them are removed at the end of the current round after scoring objectives, but before checking scenario win conditions. So they will score objectives and contest objectives, and then they'll die afterwards. That is the more overpowered thing. It's not that they're going to stay alive and can potentially still do something for a turn. It's that they can get in objectives and just hold for a turn before they die. That can make all the difference. All the difference. Honestly, I think Will of the Seven is the most powerful one. Will of the Seven is possibly best if you're against a fast opponent. I used long range assassination yesterday. It was good, but I feel because of the speed, Will of the Seven works better. Or the close quarters operations isn't a bad one either, considering their fight and survive if you swap them is going to be still pretty decent, honestly. Long range assassinations, if you're up against slow targets or normal moving targets, that's not a bad one either. If you're up against Asterians, actually, I think that'd be a pretty good one to use. Yes, their shooting is good, but you can match it. Firstly, starting with the leader, we have Monarch. It's got a load of numbers at the front, but it's Monarch. She's from Star Saga as the final boss of the base game. Energy Shields 3, Jump Pack, Recon 3+, Scout, Tactician 1, yes, she's got Scout as well, ESOC Retrieval Mission, which is the Splat. So, spend a special order result to have the active model nominate any occupied cube outside of your deployment zone. So, as a short action to do this. Roll a 3 dice test, 5+, and you need 2 successes. If the active model is a hacker, you may re-roll 1 dice. If you succeed, the nominated cube is used. Do you need line of sight? No. So you just now nominate a cube that's not in your deployment zone. There you go. That's not got any models in it. If you fail, make a scatter roll to determine the cube affected. Which you could potentially want to fail, because you might then place it in a cube with an enemy. I'll read on, you'll see why. Place an ESOC marker in the cube. Friendly models within a cube containing an ESOC marker may use the companion keyword, and their ranged weapons may use the augmented keyword. So, companion means you get an extra dice, and if you charge in there, you get an extra dice again. And with prey markers, you get an extra dice again. So, potentially getting 5-6 dice. And yeah, if you have that close quarters operations off, oh, that's going to make an absolute mess. Oh, that's going to make an absolute mess. I kind of wish I would have done that yesterday. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, it's not a bad ability thing. The better ones out there, but you know, to give some support capabilities, and if I'm right, it blocks certain clear shots going off. So yeah, why not? Yeah, back to Monarch. Speed 1, 2, range of 4, fight to 5, survive 4, armor 1. Right. So for some of them, their survival would be 5 instead of 4. Right. So that close combat 1 is a bit more risky for a lot of them than others. But it could have its uses for some of them. But I think it's the weakest one of the 4 options for the special operations. But yeah, okay. Now I can see point. Anyway, survive 4, armor 1, 2 health, size 1, 25mm base. The Gedling Bullpup, which is range 5, AP 1, weight fire 1, worth 3 victory points. She is durable. Shooting is a bit short, slightly short, but AP 1, weight fire 1, it still does the business. Recons on 3s and Scout means she's got a bit of mobility about her, really. She's Tactician 1, yeah, but you can bulk that up if you know what you're doing and take the right option. Yeah, she's a pretty decent leader. She's got no close combat weapon, though. Next we have Corporal Artemisia. God, these names sometimes. Elusive 1, Engineer, Hacker and Scout. Elusive gives you an extra dice for surviving for shooting purposes. So you don't get any close combat, you just get an extra dice when you're being shot at. So that's nice. Speed 1, 2, range of 4, fight to 5, survive 4, no armour, 2 health, size 1, 25mm base. She's got a tag precision rifle, which is range 8, AP 1, prey. And she's got a pistol with toxic rounds, because of course. Range 3, toxic 1, with 2 victory points. She is one of the models you get to put prey on. She's got Scout, so she's got a bit of manoeuvrability. She's got Hacker, so that ESOC mark thing, yeah, she's helpful with that. Elusive 1 means she's not going to go down that easily. But her main thing is putting prey markers on enemies. If she damages them or kills them, even better. But main thing is putting prey markers on. You've also got Toxic 1 on the pistol, just in case you need it. I wouldn't put her in close combat. She's not awful, but fighting on 5s and that's it. It's not worth it, really, is it? Next we have Corporal Valley. Jump Pack Resilient 1. Speed 1, 2, range of 4, fight to 5, survive 4, armor 1, 2 health, size 1, 25mm base. It's got sniper rifle with AP rounds, range 10, AP 1, sniper scope with 3 victory points. Basically, it's an enforcer sniper with AP and resilient. I don't know what else to say on that. That's just what it is. It's possibly the least interesting of this group, if I'm honest. But having a sniper, considering you could put an extra dice on with prey affecting shooting instead of close combat, that can be very nasty. Again, it's another model you don't want to get in close combat. It's not terrible, but it's not really where you want to be with them. Next we have Corporal Pantheon. I think that's how you pronounce it. Beast Solid Superhuman Strength, which is a special thing only for that model. Once per game at the start of his activation, this does not need a splat dice, Pantheon may gain charged and defender shield keywords, so you get to move a bit faster, which good, and defender shield, which means you're having armor 3 and anyone else in the, well, and one person in the same cube gets friendly should I say, gets +1 armor, so armor 2, nice. And his stomp attack gains AP 1 and suppression until the end of the round. So if he's in close combat with multiple enemies that aren't immune to suppression, he could knock them all down. Which is nice. But it's a once per game thing, so use it wisely. Speed 1, so you got to use that superhuman strength well. Range 4, fight to 4, survive of 3. Armor 2, 2 health, size 2, 40mm base. He's basically a Novichok Peacekeeper. That's the model anyway. He's got a heavy fusion gun, which is range 3, explosive frag 4. That's why he's slow and his range is short. It's got frag 4 on it. Stomp is close combat, smash 1. So even in close combat, yes, he's slow, but he ain't half bad. I mean, he survives on 3s, yeah, and he's size 2, but smash 1 5 on 4s. That's nothing to cry about. It's really fun blasting enemies with the heavy fusion gun, but then again, when is it not? Frag 4 means getting 4 dice off. It's nice. Solid means you're not getting blown off anywhere, and you can put him hit him on objectives pretty neatly. To be honest, he's worth 3 victory points. He's only got 2 health though, so you kind of want to be a little bit careful. Not too careful, because he can still do a lot, but he is slow and he's short range with a gun. Next up is the ESOC drone. Beast, construct, flight and remote. Speed 2-3, range of 6, no fight stats, survive 5, 1 health, armor 1, size 1, 40mm base. I didn't know it had armor. Huh. It's got an infrared scanner, which is range 2, prey and psychic, not worth any victory points. Right, a few things here. I think there should be some changes to it. It should be worth 1 victory point, and the infrared scanner should be non-lethal. Reason being is it's basically scanning for heat signatures and the like. So how the hell is that going to do damage? Putting prey markers on, I get that. It just means the other members of the team know where that enemy is and know how to deal with them. Fine. Should that deal damage? No. Not at all. Granted, you're shooting on 6s, so alright, that does narrow it down a bit. You are speed 2-3, so you have got some speed about you, which can be a problem for your opponent. Being worth no victory points means you could put on a prey marker, and if it dies, oh no, what a shame. I found it's the least useful of the models of Strike Team, but if used right, it can still be a threat. Next we have Sergeant Howlett. Frenzy 1, jump pack and tough. Doesn't he? Tough. Speed 1-2, range of 5, fight 4, survive of 3. Armor 1, 2 health, size 1, 25mm base. It's got a pistol, which is range 3. It's got some shooting capabilities, I suppose. It's got phase claws, which are close combat, AP 2, Frenzy 1, worth 3 victory points. Sergeant Howland is a monster. He's got Frenzy 2 effectively. He's got AP 2 close combat. And if you use that close quarters operations, he fights on 3s. He fights on 4s generally. And with tough and surviving on 3s normally, he's going to be an absolute pain to deal with. And the model isn't that tall, actually, for targeting purposes. So he could be behind a barrier. You could see his claw, but you couldn't shoot at him because his head isn't as tall as one of his arms, because one of his arms is sticking up a bit more. He can also shoot as well. Shooting on 5s is not as good as most of them, but it can at least try. It can at least try. Yeah, just get him stuck in there. Or get him on an objective, actually, because with toughness and surviving on 3s, he's not going to go down easily, like I say. Next, we have Recon, which was a really old model. It was in Deadzone 1st edition. I think it was in 2nd edition. I don't know if it's in 3rd. Hang on a moment. I will just check, because I have the book, Living Legend. No, he was never. He's not in 3rd. Intriguing. Combat team training, hacker, scout, tactician 1 and tough. So if he's still alive, you're still getting the tactician 1, and if most of the team die, you can still reroll command dice as long as he's still alive. He's also got tough. Speed 1-2, range of 4, fight 5, survive 4, no armor, 2 health, size 1, 25mm base. He's got tag rifle, which is range 6 prey. Are all Pathfinders going to get this Mantic? I hope not. Because Enforcers should not have prey. He's got impact charges, which are range 2. I thought they were close combat weapons, but they're range 2, AP 2. So you've got some way to deal with armour. He's just another model to put prey markers on. He's basically like a Vermin Malagus, but way harder to take down. He's got scouts, so you can put him a bit. Well, you've got more manoeuvrability on where you're putting him, effectively. Shoots really well, survives pretty decently. He's got no armour, which is probably the biggest downside to him, and no dedicated close combat capabilities. So, swings and roundabouts. Finally, we have Sergeant Rhiannon. Bike, evade, hacker, and resilient 1. Speed 2.5, so he is on a mono bike. Moves really fast. Range of 4, fight to 4, survive of 3 because no armour, 2 health, size 1, 40mm base. Shotgun with star shells, range 3. No AP, it burns and knockback. So it's a shotgun that sets things on fire. Just why? Just why? Oh dear. It's fun though. It's fun doing that actually. He's got a pistol which is range 3, which kind of makes sense because the shotgun can set your own things on fire if you're not careful. And he's got wrist blade, which is AP 1 and frenzy 1. It's pretty close combat, pretty decent for shooting. He's decent all over. He's got 2 weaknesses that stand out. 1, no armour. 2, because he's on the bike, he can't go up buildings. So, but he is really fast. Moving 5, then use a command dice to shoot. Yeah, he gets where he needs to go. I mean, he's even got speed 2 for a short, so he can still go somewhere, I think. Even doing a short action, moving 2, and still using the range 3, it burns weapon when most are only range 2. It's just to be setting things on fire. I've done that. It's quite nasty. It's quite nasty. The hand is the epitome of the Enforcer thing of they can bend but don't break sort of thing. They've got a ton of capabilities and a ton of options. You want to make them good at close combat, you can do that. You want to make it so they can take objectives or stop your opponent taking them longer than they should be able to, they can do that. Do you want to make them incredibly good at shooting? They can do that. Do you want to make it so you get a potential ton of command dice? They can do that. They've also got a ton of options for how they want to take on the enemy. You've got frag, you've got a lot of prey, you've got flame things, you've got snipers, you've got all sorts. I suppose the only thing they haven't got is a dedicated suppression weapon. You've got frags, but apart from that, you haven't. Yeah, they've got it all. They are expensive victory point wise, and against fast opponents, they may struggle a bit, but you have options to deal with that, and with a skilled player, you can really do well. I'd like to see more details, data on these to see how many people's used them, because at the minute I ain't seen much said about them. But for me, I think they are, at the minute, the best of the special strike teams. Anyway, that's it for this video. Goodbye for now.